Welcome to Blind Vision. I'm your host, Caden, and this is Christian Vision Episode 2. Jesus is an ark. Now, when I say the ark, what I mean is Jesus is a parallel to the giant boat that carried Noah and his family and his daughters-in-law and all the animals during the Great Flood. Now, let me explain. When God saw in Genesis chapter 5 or 6, I believe, that the world was broken and sinful, he said that he regretted ever making man and decided to fix that problem by flooding the entire world. And he said to Noah that how he could escape the flood and take every animal with him so the earth would still be full of life would be to create a giant boat, and that was his only way out. And he did. He made the boat, and when the floods came, he had every animal come in and his family, and they went, and everything outside the boat drowned. Now, how this ties back to Jesus is that Jesus multiple times presented himself as like the only way out of condemnation or sin, and how he did this was being nailed to a cross and then being risen to life once again, and that anyone who believes in him, according to John 3:16, would not perish but have everlasting life. And this is sort of odd because and this fits because the world is technically not literally flooded right now, but bogged down in, I don't even know if I want to delve into it, like what all there is. Politics, the shady parts of pop culture, what happens behind the curtain. I'm not going to elaborate on that. And Jesus is really the only way out. Now, how is he the only way out? Well, I'll explain. Apart from John 3:16, obviously, this is how Jesus handles sin. So here it is. John chapter 8, verses 3 through 11. Then the scribes and Pharisees brought to him a woman caught in adultery, and when they had set her in the midst, they said to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in adultery in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what do you say?" This they said, testing him, that they might have something of which to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down and wrote on the ground with his finger, as though he did not hear. So when they continued asking him, he raised himself up and said to them, "He who is without sin among you, let him throw a stone at her first." And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. Then those who heard it, being convicted by their conscience, went out one by one, beginning with the oldest even to the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had raised himself up and saw no one but the woman, he said to her, "Woman, where are those accusers of yours? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said to her, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Now, I'm drawing pretty much all of this from, by the way, this is the New King James Version, that's why it sounds a little weird. But anyway, I'm drawing all this from a sermon that I saw earlier today. And the thing about Jesus is that we typically want him to be one or the other, condemning, truth, all that stuff, or just mercy. But the thing is, he's both. He's not one or the other, he's both. The pastor put it this way: he discomforts the comfortable and comforts the disturbed. And holding on to Jesus and his sacrifice and believing that he died for your sins is really the only way out of the flood. So, will you take it? Anyway, with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I got pretty much all this from a sermon. The premise for the video, Jesus being like an ark, I drew from, I think it was like when we were singing in the sermon before the thing actually began. Like the pastor commented, or somebody commented on that, and I just I might have just drawn the parallels on my own, but anyway, I hope you didn't find this video too cringeworthy. God bless you, and all that, and I will see you guys later. Whoa. Blind Vision out.